Call meeting to order.
Young
Young County Commissioners Court, Monday, February the 10th, 2014, it's 9:32 a.m. Make note that notice was given in proper manner and time of this meeting, and make note that all members of the court are present. If it's convenient, you stand. Please say the invocation reflection of Mr. Pruitt.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day. We thank you for the morsel that you have given us. We ask that you please graciously give us a little more. We thank you for taking care of us. We ask that you guide and direct us as we look out for the citizens of Young County. Things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No way. Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you.
I thought you'd make a lot.
Item number 3, are there any public comments, announcements, or presentations that may need to be made at the present time?
Jim, Ross, give me this stuff here, some pictures and some dirt on his windows that he had down there that's still blowing dirt, leads up into his windows. Still not finished down there. He won't bring it to the court's attention.
Don Dorsey's supposed to be here, and he said
Yeah,
this
bring that to
week.
Don's attention.
Yeah, he's supposed to go around and look at everything, and do a little bit everywhere.
I'll put this in your office and then
Okay,
give it to Don.
I think the middle of the week.
I don't know, they were in this office like last week. I think putting some finishing, touching some seals around it or something like that. I don't know if they've got that one.
Yeah, I was still blowing cool air in, but the air conditioner's blowing cool air too.
The problem I see that they're doing is they're not finishing up in that area that they start working on, and they're skipping around different areas and forgetting to go back to finish what they did.
Yeah, and maybe that's why he's coming, is kind of do a walkthrough and see what else needs to be done.
And there'll be a punch list at the end of this.
So maybe their intention is to come back to that stuff? Or they forgotten?
Maybe.
Yes. Yes.
We'll see.
All the above.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Anything public wants to bring with it? Okay, item number 4, consider county clerk minutes of previous meeting, January 27th, 2014. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions that need to be made to the minutes?
So moved.
Second. All of the reporting regarding the C-TERS seem to be in order. I guess we've got a motion and a second. Commissioner Wiley, Commissioner Rogers, to approve those minutes as presented. All in favor? Aye. Carried. 5-0. Back to the comments. It is noted that the deadline for the C-TERS has been postponed for 30 days. It will begin on March the 7th and end on March the 14th. And I would like to get that in early, but I don't think there's going to be any provisions for submitting those applications early. I think the 7th is when they'll.
Shame we were ready and they weren't.
That's
a first.
That's
a really is.
I'd rather be waiting on them than waiting on us.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think the applications order creating C-TERS offer will ready to go. Just be a matter of them posting that or bringing it up on their webpage to begin that process. And I don't think I've had until maybe midnight or on the sixth or the eighth.
Judge, you have any idea how big our file is gonna be that you're gonna have to submit online?
I think the application, the way I understood it, the application's gonna be there for electronic copy. We'll have to enter that data on that, and then we'll scan all the rest of that data and submit it in all at the same time, so I don't think it's that deal.
From when they talked, they had a concern about whether or not they were gonna be able to accept that much data that quickly or not.
They got the right person hooking on it right now to make sure they can, what they can do. They said that one road report on that one county was 400 pages long,
Yeah.
just the road report. So,
After what the federal government's been going through with their website, we certainly hope the state of Texas does a better job.
Well, I think our road reports meet the requirement, they're not hardly that big. Okay, item number 5, consider updates on security pledges.
$802,071.33.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Wiley and a second by Commissioner Pruitt to approve those pledges as presented. All in favor? Carried 5. Item number 6, consider budget amendments, auditors, no budget amendments, paying vouchers, consider payment of vouchers.
Always have vouchers, a total of $166,004.00. I'll have you do that.
So moved on vouchers.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Sides to approve vouchers payable as presented in the amount of $166,004. All in favor? Carried 5-0. Item number 8. Consider extension agent Brad Morrison pending warrant report, request for reimbursement. Brad Morrison, $744.80, pending warrant $329.83. Any discussion or anything on?
So moved. I'll second it.
Motion by Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Sides to approve that report and request for refund of Brad Morrison pending warrant. All in favor? Carried. Number 9, consider tax resale deed for 405 North Avenue, B in Allen, amount of $750. That comes from Purdue, Brandon, Collins, and Honor.
The only thing I can see in that deal here, it says that it needs to be signed by Judge Gossett,
Yeah.
Judge Gossett and Lori Bonanno.
I noticed that.
It's talking.
I think a little deeper in there is right on the paperwork. Yeah, I circled that. Notice the name change there, probably a county too.
So moved on with those, noted.
I say. That was not your bid, did it? Okay. Okay, we've got a motion by Wiley and second by Commissioner Rogers to approve that tax resale deed in the bid amount of $750, 405 North Avenue, B in Allen, Texas. All in favor? Carried. Item number 10, consider letter from Zach Burke Company regarding West Texas limestone and Breckenridge, Mr. Matt Pruitt, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Pretty much self-explanatory. Letter, that Zach gives us permission to use that pit if needed on that side of the county.
Sound like they didn't have any problem, and wouldn't make any complaint with regard to that.
So I just wanted to get it, thrown it through here, make sure everybody is clear on it.
Cheryl, you have anything to add?
I guess it's kind of a unique situation that they would allow it, but if they're the ones that don't have a problem with it, they're the bid winner, I don't see any problem.
It's because they make
But
money
it's just
off
for
of
that
it too.
one company, yeah, right.
Are they part owner of it?
Yeah. Well, they crush the
Plan
bottom
on
and
getting
stuff.
out of there, okay. So they're,
Huh?
how much you plan on getting out of there?
When we're on that side, on this side working, I don't know. It equals out about the same. I'm paying $1.25 more. But come to miles a gallon, it's about the same. You know what I'm saying? If I'm having to go 60 miles compared to a 120-mile round trip, this makes a difference in fuel to rock, price-wise.
Yeah, it's about the same. Why don't you just go around there and get that?
Because I can get four loads to 2 loads. I get 4 loads of rock to 2 loads of rock.
Kind of matter of distance.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll keep the original letter on file in case.
We'll make the exception specific to precinct 2, or we'll make the exception to all of Young County precincts.
I don't know why you couldn't do it for all of it, I mean, I don't know if any of you would ever use that other one, if it's too much.
No reason we'd ever experience it.
No, just this precinct too.
Precinct 2.
Okay.
When you drop over there on that new home.
Just charge it to me.
Okay, we're gonna give that motion to Mr. Pruitt. We're gonna call it an exception specific to precinct 2 with regard to the purchase of limestone base, road material. We have a second.
I'll say.
All in favor? All, any opposed? I don't oppose it. We got the letter of exception.
Going through this process, get bid, hand over everything's bid, FOBs, that's the way it ought to be.
Can't argue that point.
I made a motion to accept it at least bid, so I'm gonna oppose it.
It's not downloading. I think the server down. Haven't had this thing on since. My God. Turned your mic on. Got 4. Yeah.
Item number 11, consider Sierra website services invoice $550. I think this is what we went through close to a year ago. Our host, is that it? Host our website.
Yeah, so this is this is continuing the service we already have with Sierra. They host our website, and they have made some pretty massive upgrades. If you haven't been to our website within the past year, then do so because it looks considerably different. But this was budgeted for. We made preparations for this back in October, so there you go.
Okay.
Do you, honestly, do you think it's any better than it was? I mean, it's a little better, but it's not like leaps and bounds. To me, it's not.
Well, I mean, to me, for the price that we're looking at, it's leaps and bounds better because websites are extremely costly, and so And right, Nan's correct. It's far easier for me to upload and manipulate the back end this time around. The other one was very user unfriendly, so
You recommend that we maintain that website hosting?
most definitely.
I'll make that motion. Second. Okay, we have a motion by myself and a second by Commissioner Pruitt to maintain website hosting services of Sierra at $550 per year. All in favor? Aye. Carried 5 votes. Item number 12, consider refinance options, current leases with American National Leasing, Mike Cuban.
I'm gonna give y'all 2 copies of your equipment and what you have listed.
You sure can, please do. Speak up, I don't have my ears on. Unless it's in the truck.
Got a copy for everybody. Recaps the equipment in your area. Everybody card.
Sir.
Let me start off by saying, American National Leasing and American National Bank appreciate y'all's business. We want to be aggressive in keeping your business going forward and earning it as well. What I've done here is presented the equipment leases that we currently have on the books with y'all, separated by precinct. Tried to put a equipment description in there as well, so that'll help y'all sort of understand which ones they are. But simply what I did was we looked at all the equipment leases first, and the majority, well, all of it's CAT equipment, and that was all done at 3.2%. We're offering a refi rate of 2.5%, which kept the payment stream the same and just affected the ending balance based on whenever y'all decide to trade out of it or end the lease. So I compared that number to the balance that we had on the original lease at 3.2%. And then the last line in green and yellow there is the savings on each of the leases across the bottom. Some of them are almost termed. I didn't include them. Also showed the payments month that was due on the bottom there. In addition, we also include the vehicles, the Tahoes and Dodge trucks and Ford trucks that you have in that was done at a higher rate, lowered that to 2.5 and illustrated the same picture there with the payment stream staying the same and just the ending balance being affected. I'd like to jump back up to the equipment. There in precinct 1, there's one motor grader, the 2006, that is being bought at $1. I just notated that savings on the last payment. If y'all choose to go with us and we do the refi, we'll redo the paperwork and each payment will be affected to make up for that adjustment to reflect that savings. And then also in precinct 4, similar one is $1 out at the end, and also reflected it in that last payment to show the savings that will be given there as well. But we've checked with our lawyer to see what would be needed to do a refi, and he said we need to add an addendum showing that the rate was lowered, which would alleviate a lot of the paperwork, so we waive the doc fee that we're going to have. The UCC fee and lien holder is already in place, so that fee would be unchanged as well, so it'll stay in place. One other form, the IRS 8038 form, would also need to be filled out with do that also to reflect that reduction in the rate in amounts for the IRS 838G. But with that said, if y'all have any questions, I'm here. Would again love to keep y'all's business and earn it going forward, and feel like with the competitive environment the way it is, that this is a fair offer, and again, I'll consider.
Can I ask you one question about, don't take offense to this, Mr. Google, but would you have ever came to us with this if it wasn't a competitor? Because y'all were so much higher than you have a competitor, and now you lower yours.
Well, at the time we did the lease, we were matching our competition, which was 3.2, the cap rate, whoever else was brought to the table at that time. So we felt like that was a fair deal. And, you know, when you sign up for a deal, it's a deal. Now, with the competition the way it is, things have changed. You know, if rates start going up, I doubt y'all are going to call me and say, hey, Mike or First National, y'all come back in and we'll redo the rate. So, you know, it's to y'all's advantage, and, you know, competition is what it is. I mean, y'all are going to save some money, not a ton of money, but, you know, it'll buy some rock or decent for you down the road. So we're the ones that will make less money. So, but yeah, the competition being what it is, Mr. Root, that's what he said.
Stuart came in and gave that off our last meeting, you know, that's what prompted this, I suppose. I didn't make contact. Mike called me last week, wanted to come make a presentation here with regard to that. I sure thought that he would give the opportunity to do that. It would have been our responsibility, really, to make contacts. They say we've got a better deal, you won't make one. So I didn't do that. I don't know if anybody else did. I apologize for that.
Well,
I should have made contact.
Some of it, again, you know, it's been pretty widespread, and I appreciate your approach there if you would have called us, but one of them didn't. I mean, they just went and did it. So that's why, you know, we sort of stepped it up and made our effort to show you that we appreciate your business. We'll keep it.
Just basically, you're making a maximum offer to maintain finance.
Actually, I think it's probably a little bit better since we don't have to redo the forms. If we look the other way, we'd probably have to redo all those UCC forms.
Yes.
There'd be any extra cost there.
Well, there is, you know, on our document fee, which is $65, I'm assuming competition has a similar kind of deal, $50 doc fee and a $15 UCC fee, which files the lien.
Not a lot of money, doesn't belong to our taxpayers.
Yeah. And we've chosen to waive that since all that's right.
We like competition. We kind of saw that from our rock bids last year. You know, competition is good for utilizing your service. And American National did come in 3 or 4 years ago and helped us out. And we were paying higher interest rates, and you have a history that shows that we pretty well lean on you as far as the documents and what we need to do and when we need to do it. So I don't see that there's a reason that we should change banks, being the rates are the same. Like y'all are bending over backwards trying to waive the document fees, trying to help us out on that end. I don't see, as far as financing the pickups, that's pretty cheap, 2.5%.
Well, I think that if we gave them the opportunity to come in with a counter bid, then we should see what the other one does too. Like you say, competition's good. I don't think we should make a decision until we hear from the other side.
Stewart was here last week and said that 2.5%.
No, but he didn't say anything about document fees and stuff like that. He said they
I thought it was gonna be back today.
Well, he was going to, and he sent me an email, of course, left at 4 on Friday, sent it at 4:30, and said he was supposed to be on the agenda somewhere else and he couldn't get it rescheduled, and he sent something for y'all to look at. I mean, I don't know about the dock fees. I mean, he said if I needed to text him or call him, I don't, whatever y'all want to do, I'm gonna wait till he comes. I mean, I have this if you want to look at it, but it's just up to y'all.
I understood it's 2.5%.
The same as theirs.
Yeah.
But that's not what this one says.
Having history with American National.
Well, the only reason they came in is because.
I mean, he didn't break it down
I
by,
don't know what about it, really, it's been our responsibility to make contact.
Okay.
So we got to put it here.
yeah.
But I think we have a courtesy to both parties to always go over, scrutinize what they're trying to do for us, so. This will be good 2 weeks from now on. Let's just take a look at what Stuart sent us. Everything that, Commissioner Rogers said is true. We've got a past history with them. And Cheryl, you didn't have a whole lot of problems with Mr.
No,
King, had you?
y'all were the only one that had problems.
It was just my understanding Spirit was gonna come in 2.5% also, so.
But you know, he said that in passing, it wasn't really a presentation. He said if I came back in a couple, he did say he was gonna come back in a couple of weeks.
Well, we leased the motor grader 2.5%, back on 2.5%.
And he made mention of that, and then, I mean, yeah, I don't know, if y'all wanna look at this, you wanna wait until he.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's a done deal.
Yeah, that'd be, I'd like to look at what Stuart.
I mean, it's up to y'all, I told him I'd print it, if y'all wanted to look, if y'all wanted to wait, have him come, it's up to y'all.
As Mr. Sipes always says, we owe it to the taxpayer.
I look to the taxpayer to take a look. Mr. Cuba may be working for a different bank next week.
Is that how you?
He's been there a while, I think.
I've worked for two people, 27 years in the bridge job, 9 in this one, so I'll be.
You're not me,
You're
I don't like
indentured
to,
there,
I like
right?
to stay where I'm at. Don't keep me.
Thank you.
That's forever, you know, thank you.
Ms. Clark?
Not going. We're gonna have a motion to table for further review.
Yes, sir.
Do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
All in favor, of tabling that motion for further review? Aye. Right, I vote. That'll be on next current agenda. Which will be, this is 10/7. 24. 24. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Cuban, for the presentation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Item number 13 was, well, that was on there, he's not here. Can we? No action. Number 14, consider proposal and answer questions from the carrier on border issue. Dustin Beard,
This is the most important
Charles
agenda item on there for me.
Your fingers and toes say so.
Well, y'all were in my office this morning, were you not?
Hello, I'm Dustin, I'm with Carrier, Fort Worth, this is Charles Bean.
we have 92 degrees. Our water temperature was 92 degrees this morning at 7 a.m.
Is that right?
That's correct.
We appreciate the opportunity we appreciate the business that we receive from you. We appreciate the opportunity to serve your community. And here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, why was our water temperature 92 degrees?
Well, because that floor is not big enough to serve this whole building. That's why we're proposing 4 boilers to get you from temperature to top temperature.
I mean, was
The
it not
boiler's not
sold
big
to
enough
us?
to serve the building to a comfortable level.
Was it not sold to us in the original agreement that it would be adequate for this building?
it
Part
was,
of that process?
it was decided, from what I understand, I wasn't at the meeting, but it was decided that this would be enough to get to, well, we were trying to get a grant from the state. If they went bigger in the boiler, they wouldn't get the grant, so that was what the judge had decided, with the previous judge, to go with that side of the boiler.
I was going to say that.
I think the amount of money we had to spend was spent on the boiler that would buy versus buying the boiler we need. We probably should have at that time did a study to find out what size boiler, use that grant money to discount the cost of an adequate system and install an adequate system. We didn't do that, here we are today. But if the water temperature is 92 degrees and it should be running at what?
Probably 120 to 140.
Is that because the water goes out and away from it and comes back and cools it back down when it gets back to the boiler and it just simply cannot heat it fast enough?
We've got a lot of radiators in here that just like automobile radiators, right virtually in there.
And they're cooling waters, they dissipate the heat, sure.
Air blows through and lots of open air in this building, it takes a good
What problems can we anticipate adding 2 new boilers to a boiler that's already been in service this number of years?
Well, that was why we picked, the one we picked was because we picked the same brand that you have, so they will communicate with one another, talk to one another, and you know, there's other brands, but you know, there's something that's going to talk to one another. I don't know of any problems because we've sized everything as to what to work here. We tried to make sure that there's a little redundancy, so this don't happen again.
So you're saying our boiler now is 1/3 the size it should have been?
Well, it's at least half, but I think the 1/3.
So we got some surplus capacity there?
I don't know what the total size of your building is, you know,
Right.
I didn't get in on that, but generally, I say that.
Well, it's not likely that we're going to be expanding this building anytime soon, so.
But if one of them has a problem, now you're not back to the same spot you are.
There you go, then run on, heat the building on 2 rather than.
Use the building, that was the idea, the thought you had behind it.
That's what I was getting. Why the reserve, and that would be the reason you shut one down, do maintenance while the other 2.
Right, exactly.
The solution we propose should alleviate any heating issues you have for the next 20, 30 years.
They'll be connected in an array of units together down here in the same place.
Yeah.
It's the same exact unit that you have, so it'll be a seamless transition.
Design water flow in this building, does it flow eventually to end place and then turn around and come back, or is it distributed all at the same time and then comes back?
Yeah, well, you've got like a header and it all goes on to different ones, you know what I mean? It's not in line where it goes to different, you know what I mean? It's like a header simply.
It goes out.
Close it up.
Like a manifold?
Manifold, there you go, yeah, the same thing.
There's no way to put half the building on one circulation and half on
Well,
the
here's the
other.
way of doing it, it's pretty expensive. You'd have to redo the main piping was already here in the building, existing for a long time, so it's a major thing, change it to where it would.
With this system, does the radiators at the most distance away from those boilers suffer from lack of heat?
I wouldn't think so, you know what I mean? The big thing is that you have those little pumps that circulate through the main. You know, your main flow is off the main pump. And then the boilers themselves have a little circulating loop that goes into that main loop. Okay. So, anyway, that's, it should heat the whole building.
So water temperature should be approximately the same at all radiators?
Exactly right.
The problem being is that with that one, by the time it circulates back around again,
You do have that problem.
You can't have the same temperature, but if you've got 3 there and they're talking to one another, if this one you're satisfied, they're gonna say, well, I'm gonna shut this one back to a certain temperature, then this one go back to a certain temperature. They'll talk to one another, either heat up or they'll slow, cool down. But once you get that same temperature through all the building, it may take a longer to do it, but once it's done, it'll stay that way. A lot more.
True, and then if you're gonna have it where you'll do this, not just start at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly.
It'll be
get up at 6 o'clock or something like that, they'll be coming on in doing it and stay. Like it's supposed
Is
to.
this one not programmed where you can do it like that?
Everybody's around the clock.
Yeah, I don't believe it's, we got a problem with it. Thank you, appreciate you coming down and helping us out when we were having a little issues with it earlier on. Charles spent a good bit of time down there and came kind of odd hours. Appreciate that.
Business is in.
I believe since the 2nd of January, I believe it was, I don't think that boiler, I don't believe it's ever reached its cutoff temperature. But it has cut off one time when we had a little screen stopped up. That was
Before that, wasn't it? I wasn't
maybe
there.
the week before. Shut everything down, clean that screen. It did fire back up for me, so it hiccuped a little bit, but it went on started. We've been on other than that one time, it hadn't turned off since. Doesn't give a, when the ambient temperature is up 65 or 70 degrees outside, we'll get the water temperature up to 150. But when the ambient temperature drops down here to the 30s, 20s, and stays for a good while, it doesn't have the capacity to heat that water back up.
It seems like it'd save money too, with having another one on there, actually, in the long run, if it's just not running constantly, like you said, it's been running.
And it's saving wear and tear on the one board. It's not running.
It'll save money on natural gas too.
Yeah.
That being said, if we accept this quote, how will we pay for it? Where's the money? Okay.
Well, there's money
As long as these women are comfortable.
in contingency, there's money in there.
Everybody continues to.
Well, the time frame too is gonna be, it's gonna take a good bit of time to install that array system, or array boilers.
We haven't figured it out in about a month.
You won't volunteer that.
When I did ask him about the chiller, do we have to shut the chiller down? And so, no, we don't have to, so.
So now,
The chiller,
Right, to install it, won't even have to shut the chiller down.
that's a good thing.
It's got isolation valves for the chiller and for the water, so we can isolate the water and work on this. Chiller, right?
So we can do it there, so.
Yes.
Looking right at this.
Preferably do it, yes. First part of something.
But when you
Yeah, right.
piggyback these deals, it doesn't increase pressure on the pipes or anything. It just heats the,
Should increase the
it
pressure.
just heats the water.
Just heats the water.
pipes.
The way the system is that water has a little pump on them. And the main system has a loop here that goes back. And so this here stays, I'd say,
trying to say it's a complicated system.
yeah. It's designed though that those boilers talk with that pump that he's talking about. Yeah. And as the demand goes up, so does the RPM of that pump goes up. Right. And as demand goes down, that motor slows down, which slows the flow down. And at that time, then it'll kick back into the boilers at the same time. So everything's got to talk to it. That's what it's about. But it's gonna take you all a while to get this material here. It's probably material.
Too long?
No, that wouldn't be. We need to go and make a decision once we get on the books and get time.
Yeah, we need to do this during the springtime.
First part of spring, because if he wait too late, he's gonna get busy doing air conditioning.
Yeah.
Custom with the quote, it says it's valid for 30 days, but if they sign
The price won't change. That's just the standard.
it, okay.
Okay.
I see this total price here, 41,784. That's a parts, supplies and all.
Everything.
Labor installed,
Everything.
turkey.
With
I mean, you're looking at what, about another month?
Okay, let's talk about one other thing. We need to get on the schedule. And you and I talked about this. Whether it's every 6 months or, which I think would be better to go in there and flush those systems. Because we're gonna have 3 of them. Back flush those systems with chemical every 6 months. To keep them at their peak running capacity and operations. And we'll have less problems then. That way they can do the screens And also, you said the chemical going into the system is doing like it's supposed to also. Okay.
And actually, Larry is starting to do that.
Okay. Okay, because that's another thing, it's very important, putting the water running continuously through there and keep that chemical in there and keep it growing the lines and stuff, causing more problems.
I think they've been putting chemical in all the time.
Yeah, there was a while they did, I found out they haven't been starting back. They do that year round.
It's a never-ending job,
So you're saying Larry can take care of it, maintain it?
not the pumps, not the floors.
It's the,
So it needs to be a twice a year service call?
I see your
it's
service.
it's the, inhibitors to keep it from corrosion within the system. That's something they put in year round.
Okay.
Was it on a metered system of some sort that just needed to get full, or you
No,
inject it, or?
put it in manual. Put it in manual. Some coffee cup to a gallon of
Right.
water and then mix it and then pump it in.
There's no provision for an automatic?
There could be one, it's just the chemical man, of course, I'm not the chemical man,
Right.
but he prefers it this way.
Okay.
And he's been sending the guy down and having his guy check the level in there to make sure it's enough.
pH content.
And so, that's what he told me, okay, but I talked to him because I was concerned about it.
Okay, I understand. Okay. Very good. So I guess what you do, you'd service the unit at the beginning of the heating season, and then after the heating season was over?
That would probably be the thing to do.
Now, the only thing I had thought about that is on what yours said, at your home, you do it every 6 months. And that is for hot water, which runs year round, and this just is in the winter. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing it twice a year, but I'm saying that's where we kind of got behind the eight ball is this wasn't done for 2 years, 3 years. So we got behind, and it may be if we do it once a year, it may be sufficient. It's not a problem doing it twice if that's what you want to let.
Well, we still get hot water from that too, don't we?
No, we'll just cool it. Just never go to air conditioning, you're over with it.
What does this service cost? What would we be spending?
It's just the chemical and a
Service
day's
time.
labor. And he was asking me.
$200-$300?
He was asking me to put it in our contract, the other stuff we have, so that it's not an extra bill to y'all, just do it on a regular basis.
What is that?
What is it? That's gonna be about $500 for 8 hours. But he was saying we'd do it when we're already here for schedule, so that wouldn't be the cost for him to do that, he would do it while it's already here, doing the other maintenance on the ship.
That was the deal, if he could figure out a time when he's in this area, that way it'd be his best trip.
This contract, it says start up to be performed by Osland Nation Techniques.
So that's who we're purchasing the boilers from,
Okay.
and they would come out on site and make sure it could start up exactly.
So they're not actually carriers for it.
No, so, Carrier doesn't produce boilers, but we purchase the people.
That's the manufacturer of the boiler.
Y'all worked with these people before?
We did.
Let it go. I'll take care of them. Y'all pay them.
That cost there, that covers everything else.
I suppose they were here when they installed originals.
I wasn't here, but I assume so.
I bet it was.
I don't think they did, I think that's one of the things that we kind of wished we would have had here.
They need to be here on these next two.
What, we've got a total bid here, or a total price, I guess you could say, pricing on that. What is just the basic cost of one of the boilers?
It's
Just to set the floor out here,
just to purchase the price of the boiler, that's about $69.
69. I don't want to call that 7,000.
Yeah, that's close enough.
That's just a curiosity question, really.
You make barbecue pit?
Well, I just, whatever. I wasn't in on any of the mechanics of it or anything like that, just the vote here to
Almost
pursue that grant.
200,000 BTU. So we're gonna have 600,000 BTU.
You can go down there and look at the board, it's in there, I don't know if you ever saw it or not.
Like I said, that should cover anything you're gonna need for a long time.
big as my pickup.
Really?
Bigger, maybe.
The new boiler
And
gonna
then
be
you come down in there, that little boiler, that like that, with a actual boiler in it, not any bigger around than that. And you just think, don't fucking keep up.
does.
About the
I bet a lot of that cost is completed products liability insurance on that.
No, these are about the whole thing.
How many gallons does it hold?
Oh, it wouldn't hold over 5 gallons.
What does the system hold?
Wow.
But the point is you're 90% efficient when it comes to your, your combustion. Compared to what you were before, it was probably 60. You know what I mean? The old boiler. So.
So the old boiler worked on capacity, this one works on efficiency.
Yeah.
It was big as hell, a lot of water.
A lot of
Old one was warm, it was very warm, but it was overkill, like you said, it'd run you out.
Where that boiler had enough water to nearly get through the system before it run out.
Well, you see, here's the deal, that's what I was talking about, that loop. Your little boiler loops, this little short loop, but then the main building goes through the whole thing. So that's why it's a
Commissioner
Size
Sidetrack, I think, interesting question there, about how much volume, what the volume of water is within the whole system.
We can figure that out. I don't know what the volume would be, but I would guess it to be no more than about, let's see, that's an 80 ton. Figure 3 gallons per ton, which would be 250 gallons maybe.
It's not, that's less than I thought it would be.
What's that about?
You got a leak at the
Well, it's a lot of this pipe is 3 inch down in the mechanical room, and as it goes out, and as it goes down, it reduces down. And you're looking at 5/8 of an inch, 3/4.
Sort of like with these fan coils.
3 inch would be 9 barrels per 1,000. 42 gallons of barrel. Good oil field style.
But anyway, that's not a very big furnace. Big 250 gallon water.
I get what Mike was saying now. You know, if you have a leak, how many gallons of water? That's not a whole lot.
Running half a mile, getting turn to return.
Several feet of pipe.
He's back up. It does fine, as long as the temperature's.
What are our choices here?
Do it or don't.
Do it or not?
Let's sure.
I always like the bottom line. Could we get a better bid from someone else? Could we get a better bid from someone else that knows our building any more than these guys do?
Probably not.
Probably not.
It works with what we have.
You know, I would make a motion that we go ahead and schedule the work to be done and increase the heating capacity of the courthouse. Insulate these boilers.
Money.
Or get it
Contingency.
Contingency,
That's the first question I asked.
yes.
That's what we like to do is
I'll second.
hire somebody that.
I'm gonna get.
I mean, it's under 50,000, so we don't have to go out for bids with it.
There's no relief for this winter.
We're doubling up on clothes.
We're just about over there. We can do that probably the first part of spring. Jump on it. Matter of fact, y'all could come on down here and probably mount those units in place before we hook them up.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
I appreciate you guys coming today because this information is very vital to us making a proper decision for spending someone else's money.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now if our constituents ask us, we can say, well, this is what it is.
That's why y'all do it that way.
Well, again, we appreciate your time, we appreciate the opportunity to serve you.
Well, something's gonna have to be done because of cold winters, so
Doesn't seem to be.
it's hard to live in this courthouse.
That's pretty good money.
That's not for my comfort, but. I just
It's warm.
put
Go
my
in my
hair
office.
on.
Put more socks on.
Oh, I have plenty.
Yeah.
Y'all vote on it, I have an original.
I got a first and a second.
Okay, we've got a motion from Commissioner Sipes. second by Mr. Wiley. Move forward.
That'd be better.
With, is that Carrier Corporation?
It's a backward contract, so we wouldn't have
It's under $50,000.
it. So we had two things going for him.
Two good things.
So, like that is expansion to their heating system.
You'll be happy next winter.
I'll never be
I'm
happy.
don't count on it.
I'll never be happy.
All in favor? Aye. Carried, 9-0.
This is a.
It's an awful lot there. Sorry, it's an awful lot there. Yes.
You write your name and type it and then sign it and then here.
You're married.
Well, they all said the same.
That's something you do. Our ladies know where to be. Disclaimer.
I'll get Dustin to sign it and I'll go make us a copy.
See? That's what this is. Good.
Y'all like coming down here and getting out of the big city?
I do.
I think you do.
As long as the roads are nice, they weren't too bad this morning.
Yeah.
Traffic ain't much different down here than it is up birthday like this.
Well,
Did she sign it? That's okay. Just- That's stuff all in there. I'm just stating it if you were. And I'll get Dustin to sign it.
item number 15. Jason?
Yeah.
You'll please come up, give us a little bit of explanation with regard to the elevator upgrade and length of contract.
Yeah, Gary Johnson,
Crump?
yeah, ThyssenKrupp. Yeah, Gary Johnson, your mechanic, recommended that we put an infrared edge on doors, on the car door, you know, it opens and closes, and keep people from putting their hands on doors. Like now you have with plastic safety edge on them where they gotta make contact with the doors to get it to open and stuff. And so for, you know, if you have slower moving passengers, stuff like that, the door will close in on them. And the actual light that's on the door now is obsolete, and the parts you can't get to it anymore. So what I recommended was we install that infrared edge. You know, we can reduce the service contract price. It helps reduce our liability as well. And you know, yeah, and there's two, exactly.
Okay, explain that pricing just a little bit.
I gave you two contracts. I gave you one for the service contract, and that what that did there was just cut that in half.
We have a total contract price here.
Yeah, it was $435, and the new contract price is $260. That's Cisco. Now that right there is that's the repair contract. That's to do the infrared edge, to do the actual repair.
Okay.
And then I gave you a service contract as well. New service contract. Yeah, the $2,200 is for the actual repair itself. $2,259. $2,259. Yes, sir.
Say current amount due. Explain current amount due.
Y'all have a down payment invoice out here, but you guys are good. I don't need to actually, this down payment invoice is printed out.
50%.
Yeah, we don't have to do that. You can just pay when it's done. So you can disregard that. I can mark through that if you want. It states it on the second page. 50% upon sign acceptance, 50% upon completion. I'll mark through that, and we do 100% upon completion.
What else on there in that elevator you think is getting close to being?
You got, yeah, the elevator, you have a solid state starter, a mechanical starter on there. which starts the electric motor. And it's a mechanical starter, it's kind of like the old point system like my car. So you could probably do that. That'd be the next thing. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty robust.
What would you estimate the cost of that be?
It's about $2,500 to do the starter.
Would it be cheaper if we did it now as we do this other?
I mean, yeah, if you wanted to, we could do it together if you wanted.
If it's not any cheaper, no reason for us to do it
Yeah.
together, but.
I mean, you can put it in the budget for next year or whenever. It's just, it'll save you if you ever have power outages and stuff like that, if it goes single phase, it'll save that motor from burning up. Yeah,
That's a good thing.
yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, it'll smoke that oil, smoke out the building. So we've had that happen before.
Is our elevator dangerous?
No, it's in good shape. I mean, other than the plastic safety edge on there.
You say the parts for that are no longer available?
Yeah, there's a light that goes across at 6 inches and there's a light that goes across at 24 for ADA and wheelchair, but that light system we can't get parts for anymore, so that's why we're recommending the infrared.
So if it goes out, we're to the point
Yeah,
where.
you're at the point where you gotta buy it anyway, so yeah.
And without getting this part, there's a possibility of somebody getting hurt.
Yeah, and you want that light working, yeah. So we try to, we don't like the doors touching the passengers when they come in and out.
Dexter, do we have a maintenance contract right now? Well, I mean, I was looking at what we've been paying and what we're paying now. We were paying like $438 a month, and now we're paying $453 starting. It keeps just going up. So would this lock us into $260 a month?
Yeah, it'll lock in at $260 a month. It just
For
kind of
how long?
starts over. Until one year, and then it'll go up. Like this year, we had an increase of 3%. So it's usually 3 to 5%.
That would be half of what we're paying on
Yeah,
maintenance.
it's half.
So by reducing the, contract down to 260, we're basically saving what this costs.
Exactly. It'd be paid for in 1 year, just about.
So we'll go back to $400 next year?
No, it's gonna stay. It'll be at 260 and then it'll go up, yeah.
Well, it's
That's what you're saying,
3%
contract.
Yeah, it's 5 year, it goes up, it's 1 year, yeah, it's a 1 year. It'll increase at the anniversary date, but yeah, it's a 5-year contract overall.
Well, what kind of figures can you put it together to replace that motor on top, that starting system?
Yeah, the starter, I can give you the price for it.
What I'm thinking is the difference is they're already gonna be here.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. We were saving a lot of money through the service because they're already here.
Yeah, plus you're saving money on the contract.
But if we're not,
We're saving money on the contract, so really all we're gonna be out is just the motor, what we're saving on the contract.
And all the service will be on like a weekend or something.
No, I mean, it'll be during the day. On the infrared, it'll be down about 4 hours. That'd be a problem.
Could be.
Could be.
I mean, if you have court upstairs and you have somebody in a wheelchair,
Well, the only thing we need to do is get them to coordinate with district court on the days they're gonna have court.
schedule where
That's the way you need to schedule that.
Okay.
And that's why another thing is, if you're gonna do this other thing, do them both at the same time, like Mike's talking about.
does this
Be
make
done,
sense?
it's just, it's a no-brainer.
It'd be down a whole day then. If you want to do the starter too at the same time, if you're looking at probably a whole day.
It's a good day. And sure enough, that would be the day that everybody comes in. And
Well, that's what I'm saying, we go up there and get the court coordinator upstairs, and probably, he does his court on Wednesdays. So, be a good idea to do all that, and kind of coordinate with them.
So we'd be looking at around $5,000 worth of changes to the elevator to bring it up to date and to.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I didn't have a proposal ready for the sausage
Understand.
starter back there. That's something that the mechanic did recommend, as a minimal upgrade.
I know it's on the service schedule, down there in the elevator room. I think it had been serviced 2 times this past year. The year before, it did something like 6 or 7 times.
It's shut down with people.
You do that on a call, or is that on the schedule?
It's just,
No, not here yet.
I'm sorry, I don't know what.
The service, or do you do that on scheduled service or on an on-call basis?
To do the repairs?
No,
No.
whenever we come, you do some scheduled routine
Maintenance?
maintenance.
No, it's scheduled. We put it in his program. He gets the deal and comes and should come out and maintenance. Right.
If something happens to it and we call you, that's an extra charge.
No. The only
It's all
thing you
included
pay,
in that contract?
if it's after hours, you only pay for the travel time. That's in the contract. But yeah, during regular hours, 8 to 5, you're not charged with them. And he's in the area normally, he lives in Alvin, so out of order. He's not too far.
So how often are you gonna come for maintenance?
It should be 6 times a year. 6 times.
Is that a legislated schedule?
No, it's just based on manufacturing standards. It depends a lot on environment usage, stuff like that. Some elevators are outside, of course, it require more maintenance.
We do have to have the elevator inspected annually.
Yeah.
It doesn't require certification annually?
Yeah.
And we provide a maintenance control program, which the state requires you to have. Have someone.
And all that's included in the price that you
Yes,
give
sir.
us?
Yeah, the state inspections included.
Well, let's, table making a decision until he can bring us a bid on that,
From the starter.
on the starter.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I
with
see.
you, sir?
Yeah, I'll put it all together in the same thing in the same quote, see if I can save some more money on it.
Yeah, see if you can give us a little more discount on
Yeah.
that bid at the same time. Good idea. I'll second that. But we do appreciate you coming.
Yeah, you bet.
Appreciate the information.
Yeah, thanks.
We've got a motion by Commissioner Sykes, second by Commissioner Wiley, to table elevator upgrades and maintenance contract for further pricing and consideration. All in favor? Okay, you have any problem getting back on the 24th?
No, I'll come back and forth.
Okay, we'll, 24th. If that's suitable to the board.
Same time, 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
Same time, same place.
Yeah.
Item number 16. Consider quotes on security items from JP Area Field.
If the court would be,
Come right on up here.
if the court would be so kind to delay this until Judge Ross could possibly get back, he had called out. If we could push it down to around the burning restrictions, that would be fantastic.
Okay, we'll come back.
To give him that consideration.
It's gonna get done pretty quick.
You can be back pretty quick.
Yeah, no kidding.
Call for special services.
Yes,
Unfortunately.
yes.
Item number 17, consider things pertaining to the demolition of the old jail. Mr. Jimmy Wiley.
We've been having numerous calls on getting bids on it. But the one thing we do need to do on this thing, been brought to my attention, is we need to get an asbestos survey done on it. That's a state law. We have to do it by. But, I figured we could figure out somebody to do it with.
You got,
Morrison found that somebody did the restroom, didn't
Yeah,
actually,
Well, this
contacted
was,
two different people.
he? Really?
I don't know who did the restrooms, I mean, I really don't, this is who did the boiler room.
What did the restroom cost us to have?
$1,200 or something like that.
I don't know, for the boiler room, all we paid these people were $2,100, I looked to see what we, but I don't know, see, we didn't pay those people basic.
They did, it's part of it.
Yes.
Right, and so they.
I was wondering, this is not part of the bid, when they bid to demolish the jail?
No, that's our
This is
responsibility.
Oh, it's our responsibility.
And then I also had another company, that contacted me, now he didn't send any, and I think Don had some names.
Yeah, Ron's still calling, the guy from Dallas is pretty sure.
Dog Pony Show.
Yes, it is.
This guy emailed this information, but he didn't give a price on this information. So he just sent his credentials, so, sorry. One more time. And I don't,
Okay, there's another fellow out working for me. Good thing, so. Tell him what his name is.
I wrote it down, I know, you do it too. Is it
Swag.
Like
Drugs.
I've got it written down. Here we go.
Anyway, I've got his number and have him call, or I did call him, he called me back.
Fernando Aguilar.
$1,000 for his. I think we should.
So what is it, no, that's certificate of liability insurance.
Yeah, he didn't, the second one didn't send
He
the
didn't send us
pricing.
Well, then that's just no good.
They'll have to come back, he said they had to come down and look at it, this other company just,
So we'll do it for that.
I guess.
I just say on that one, just go with the cheapest, because as you say, it's a dog and pony show.
Flint slag,
That's a waste of money.
Flint Slagger, Flint's
Wherever they go.
inspection service.
Slaggers?
Slags or Slagger?
It's like,
That would be cheap.
Okay,
Well, he didn't, I didn't get to talk to him and all that.
according to this right here, they said it's not going to exceed $1,530, but it can be a lot less. Because they're taking up to 72 samples, that don't mean they're gonna take up exactly 72.
I'd be careful saying a lot less.
Well,
Yeah.
I did.
A little less.
a little less.
And the ERI company, budgeted, they say they could get here this week, and just, because they gotta get those and get them sent off, and so we're looking at a time frame.
How long is it gonna take the turnaround time on those samples?
I believe he told me about 2 weeks.
That's what I
2
was-
weeks.
I'll be just about right.
But the
We
demolition
went over on
company,
24th.
the demolition companies that have called me said they really can't give a bid until they see what this is, if there is asbestos. So I don't know.
Question is, most of those that I've talked to have been on the floor tile and the adhesive,
The adhesive was in.
on the floor tile.
Because what I've told them is most of it is rock, mortar and cinder blocks and
So
steel.
the inspection is one cost, the remediation is another.
And what they'll do is what they'll do depends on what site that you take it to.
We have to remediate, if they have to take it to if they take the
To an EPA approves location.
hazardous waste goes is our responsibility, no matter where it goes, what I do.
Is that controlled by TCEQ or EPA or both?
TECQ.
That's the Texas EPA.
Version of EPA?
They know each other's phone number.
Well, if this company can start, I mean,
They get them done.
yeah, we should just use the time element.
Question?
Gentlemen, was the asbestos factor also on the Matrix contract? And if it wasn't,
That was my question is what was Matrix gonna do about the environmental remediation on the building? What did they do with the First National Bank building, the old Gibson's building, which was more likely to have that situation in it than the other?
See, that was the thing, they never said anything about it when I talked to them over there. And he never mentioned anything about it. And what, he looked at it when he walked through it and said he didn't see anything that
See
he
a
thought
problem with it?
that it had any kind of asbestos in it. It's right on, what it is, it's right on
Of the year,
right on the line of the year that it come into effect. And going out, it's right on the line. So, that's the deal,
I think
right?
that's your answer. I think Matrix didn't see any problems with it. I don't know if they were getting.
He said that, the fellow I talked to, he said it may have it, or it may not. This guy right here, he said it was there where it was, they changed the products, right, about that year, so it could,
It's right on there.
may not have any, may have some.
So we're not chasing a problem, we're verifying that there's not.
Exactly. And the fact is, we have to have that certificate stated from, that this, we ever get audited.
In order to dispose of it.
Yes.
It's county's responsibility to get it done, anyway.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who demolishes it. That's right, push it off on us anyway. That's very old.
Anytime they can. Then when it mandates.
And
Yeah. I'll make a motion to go on that
ERI.
Get the ball rolling, get the
I'm gonna give
done.
The only reason I do them is because they are ready to start.
Ready to jump on the gun.
I'll second that.
Get them to expedite it as much as they can.
We have a motion. Wiley? Second. Utilize the services of ERI in inspection for an asbestos inspection on the old jail. All in favor? Carried.
So Judge, you're gonna
Work on the
contact
wording
me?
of that. Yep.
You're gonna contact them, you'll be in contact or whatever.
You might go right ahead. Would be glad for you to.
I just wanna make sure they get contacted.
There you go. Okay, item number 18, I put this on there, in the matter, that anybody would discuss it, sir, or have sir.
I'd like to go back and do the modifications on the line.
You got time?
Yeah, I kinda wanted to too, since somebody put in $1 million project. I'm like, well, what's about mine?
Put in what you need.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying.
Again, they reiterated at the conference last week that we should put all the projects that we see that needs to be done because of the oil and gas traffic on our lists. And we'll still be able to modify even after the application is there. I think what the state's gonna make sure is that we can actually utilize the grant money that they're giving us, that there's enough there to utilize it. And if we don't put enough in there, they're not gonna okay the full amount, but we're way above that already anyway. But for future usage, I think we should put all that we need on that.
So if we got 10 projects, you're saying put 10
Put 10 projects.
Okay.
You know, in our conference we just come from, man, I was surprised at the number of people we talked to that said they would take advantage of this.
That's great for us.
It is, it'll increase the amount of money.
Yes,
Also increase the burden of our 20%.
yes.
So like on your road, your Rocky Mountain Road, you're doing the whole road instead of half and half like I was doing?
Now, you understand that you do not have to do any projects 100%. And you can go down to number 3 if you want to and work on it rather than number 1.
But he did,
The article in the newspaper was a little bit off, but we do not have to do those projects in the C-turf. We have to have one in the C-turf, but we do not have to do that project.
but they did say that they do, he said, don't do more than you can do. He said, take that project and if you got to break it up into 2 or 3 sections,
Yeah, do 2 or
break it
3
up
pieces.
and do it in 2 or 3 pieces, but he said he wanted to see that you can do it from point A to point B and finish it at the right way, not just halfway do it right. That's what the guy was talking about in our meeting.
So my Rocky Mountain Road project is to redo the pavement, and another project is to rebase the gravel park. So it's broken up into 2 pieces.
That's what that's.
Yeah. Because that's what they're all about, is finishing the product, he said, that was one of the things he emphasized.
Then we just need to kind of finish and give with Eric and say, here's number 10 project.
As soon as we bill them for 80%, they're $577,000, they're gonna quit paying us anyway.
Right.
But the cool
But you're
thing,
saying for future years.
Yeah, so I'm seeing the need for more money later on.
the cool thing about it is they give us 3 years to finish these projects.
I'd love to finish all my projects.
So
It
to
might
get-
actually make people
Okay.
happy.
No,
Somebody will.
Yeah.
some of the people happy some of the time,
Yeah.
some people, none of the people all the time. And all the people some of the time.
What we can do is get with Eric and get him to go in and change that, like he did that day when we were working on it.
That's
It's
what
just-
I'm gonna do.
It's just a matter of,
Now, we're just sending one priority list, those have all been combined into one list, haven't they?
No, they've
it's sitting alone.
there's been a list, there was a list with each C-turf. Y'all made your,
Right.
I guess they're listed as a priority, in regard to each C-turfs, or that's how they recognize it, but I don't think the priority recognizes it. Start the last one if you want to.
I think we want to start with priorities like that, so they can count up to the 577,000 real quick and go on to the next one.
But they've delayed that, so any modifications in line.
But that comment that started this whole thing, we may get more money because of the failure of, or the decision of other counties not to participate in this
Right.
program. So,
Just because they don't want it. go through all that paperwork.
Well, you talked to one person, giving up $400 some odd thousand right there.
Good, yeah. You know, and some of them, here's the deal, and some of them, one of the guys that Stacy and I talked to was over in, what was that, Comanche County? Their judge is scared because of, he thinks because they have something to do with their strings attached to it. Which the only strings I see attached to it is that you do your paperwork, turn it in, and a 20% match is.
So he convinced the rest of the commissioners court not to do it.
Very well, wow. So,
Always strings attached to governor's statement.
I know. We're from general here to
Well,
help.
I mean, and there should be a little bit of strings attached. I mean, there should be.
Well, this application process is pretty constrained.
It'll surprise me if there's not, continuous reporting requirements, at least up for 3 years.
I agree.
yeah,
You know,
Well, there should be, that's taxpayers' money.
yeah.
You know, there should be a little bit.
But the only thing about it is if we get your project done, the report should stop. And that certificate, that invoice you send in should be part of it, and you probably need to take a picture of the finished project. You know,
I do want to take a moment to congratulate everybody here at this table for doing the work, getting that together. Good job. We were ready to go.
we're ready. And it wasn't as hard as what that
Here
engineer,
to help us.
that engineer expected it to be.
Yeah, Mr. Allison mentioned several times that some people may not be getting their $20,000 worth out of it.
we hadn't had a.
Out of those consultants.
We've
Yeah.
had, well, I guess we have, there's some grants, a couple of grants applied for here lately. But got 2011 grants, I think we're still reporting on. Just earlier in 13, we did that was for an audit of grants that went back to 2008.
We need to stay on our legislature or we tell them to cut us loose from the strings as rapidly as possible.
And they want to get rid of that money as fast as they can. Take it out of there.
Yeah, TxDOT got put in the middle.
Yeah.
Take no action on service. I'm sure think any modifications.
The way it's set right now, we can take individual action through your office of putting it together if we need to modify anything,
I
right?
can modify this, let you know, resubmit a project list or add to the project list.
Thank you, Eric.
I'll send you my bill.
$20,000?
It take about 10 minutes.
$19,999.
Take a recess,
Yeah, about 10 minutes.
maybe Jim will be back, that'd be good. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
Like 15-minute recess.
Done.
There it is.
We'll call the court back in session. It's 11:15. We're on item number 16. Consider quotes on security items, JP number 1. Y'all
Thank
come
you.
right on up here and speak loud.
Thank you, gentlemen. I gave you the quotes. It'll be proposal number 3593 as well as 3524. And this is a follow-up to the last presentation for Judge Ross and security doors. He has requested to re-quote out. As you can see, there's a moderate amount of difference to remove the locking mechanism on his door, which he said that he doesn't see that much traffic, therefore proposal 390 or 3593 would be the one that he would be more inclined to go after.
That's the 8257.
Yes, sir.
And that's say replacing the lock or?
And actually, what it does is it creates or it installs a pneumatic lock. It's a magnet that goes up on the top of the doors, kind of like what we have at the sheriff's office. That would provide for an electronic release, so that the ladies who are seated can grant access to patrons or employees or DPS officers as they.
That's on the door that comes to the window, right?
Correct. Not the outer door that leads into the hallway. The one inside the corridor.
And what about the office door?
Jim's door is the proposal 3593 excludes that. He stated
Let's say it's 20%.
right. He stated that he did not see enough traffic to warrant the spending of roughly $1,700.
Somebody get up and unlock that door if need be.
Right.
Okay.
You are old.
Is Brad Rick will do?
I know what that is. But I'm getting better.
This is all supposed to come out of security or technology?
As I spoke to Cheryl, she said that the JP technology most likely would not serve for this, as
I
it's
don't know how they
really
lined it out, it didn't, but certainly the courthouse security is.
right.
If I might also say this about that, it's been mentioned to me that the JP's office handles a lot of money, that the tax assessor collector's office handles just as much or more, but this is not about a matter of stopping an armed robbery. It's a matter of security, and most courtrooms in this building, I believe, have a officer present whenever they're in court that the JP's office doesn't always have, though it sometimes does. I think Tom visits occasionally when you're holding court. And this is just to permit, the security is actually for an agitated customer.
And he probably sees more agitated customers than anybody.
Smaller things generally agitate people.
Absolutely.
So again, to reiterate, it's not about stopping someone from stealing their money.
Right.
It's to stop them from acting improperly while they're there providing security for those ladies who may or may not be able to do
It's a
anything.
safety thing.
It's a safety thing. I understand somebody get mad about the cost of license plates too, or, you know, that Ann's got all the money hid somewhere in a lockbox.
It's buried outside the barn.
But this is probably the most likely place that is unsecured in the courthouse for that sort of thing, so I see the need for it.
They come off the street down, right off into the courthouse right there. And so we're pretty vulnerable for someone to come right in and right back out. So that's what I'm saying. That's been my contention all along.
I just wanted to negate this conversation about the money situation.
Is it on the glass door or on the interior door?
On the interior. Right.
You can walk through the glass
They
door.
walk in and pay their fine, they just can't go any further.
Right. They get to the window.
You got monitors for 3 desks.
Yes, sir. As requested, the ladies in the office requested that they each have a monitor. I spoke with Ann about courthouse security, which would essentially be what the monies would be taken out of. We have the amount that's generally budgeted for is 20, and we debit 10,000 of that for an officer.
Oh, no, that's the balance.
Okay,
Money
but
comes
10
in every month. Right
Okay.
now, we have 20,000.
for courthouse security. Okay. We know that 10 of that is more or less spoken for, so it leaves roughly 10 to accommodate something of this nature. So that would be my only reservation, is that we were looking at more or less emptying courthouse security. But this is,
How much annual receipts going to go into courthouse security? It may be something that we need to budget for rather than.
I'd have to go get the breakdown. Every month, all the clerks put money in
Is there
there.
anything,
But we use most of the money when we put the other cameras in.
right.
like if we take, the monitors and some of the electrical stuff, could it be taken out of?
Technology.
You know, you're kind of getting in line there. know, well, at his budget,
Yes.
no, I don't need that, that much. It's
Okay.
pretty kind of time.
Well, everything we can look into, which I don't know what we can ever use it for, that payment that they collect. We've never used any of it, I don't know what it can be used for.
Have we ever transferred that $3,000 and something dollars out we used on our, got in on our windmill stuff?
Oh, yeah, we
Yes,
put that back in
it
the
was.
window.
That's already been transferred.
We put it into the window.
What's the total amount that there is in the courthouse security? fund?
Right now, we have 20,000.
Well, that's what we put in the budget.
No, there's no
It's
budget,
not
it's a designated fund. It can only be used for courthouse security,
So that's all that's in there.
right now. Every month, there's,
Yeah.
all clerks put money in.
Not an item that we necessarily make a budget for.
On security, we've always just paid for it, anything in there, if we had the money, and if we didn't, we could do it, but.
And the bailiffs paid out of there also.
We do budget so much money to go in there and take care of the budget. But that's the only thing we budget out of it. Money that's left over in there stays in there. The only thing
To
we
be spent, what, discretionary, just discretionary spend?
I think we've used it in the past to, I believe we used it to replace the hard drives that failed in the security system, or in the,
Yeah, we used to buy those little, the batteries and all that.
Yeah,
kind of
organic buttons,
right.
anything to do with that security or the cameras or something like that.
We had quite a bit, and then we did most of it, just
Right.
putting the cameras.
And we spent 17,000 on the cameras.
So you just think how much goes in there each year.
You see your budget, I can kind of see what,
Well, it's not-
well, no, you don't have to, you have.
I'd have to go pull it from the Quicken account,
10,000 going every
at
year.
least, yeah. Because we pay that out to the bailiff.
Well,
But how much do you collect? Just depends.
17,000 maybe. Depends on what cases come through. They did raise the rate up in the clerk's office.
Do we need to understand this logic would follow with JP2 also? Three, I mean. Skipping them.
I think when we built the counters over there, we took that out of, over.
Yeah, we took the money when we did the counters and the window downstairs.
They got the same customers,
I mean,
They do, they don't have the conditions that would allow for securing the office any better than it currently is.
they built.
Do they have
the
security?
counter,
No, it's on a counter.
The counter and the,
I don't believe so.
Security over there.
Judge Mailer didn't seem to have any kind of request like this. I don't know that he sees the volume that Judge Ross sees.
Yeah, he said, well, I think the secretary may be packing herself.
That's good.
I'm all for it. All for it.
I would understand they got something.
So I got the,
Yeah.
but we don't own that building over there, we just lease it to.
Yeah.
well, I kind of see a need for this, security for just having that pay for it.
What are you looking at, $8,000?
825760. Is that everything installed turnkey?
From my understanding, absolutely. Unless there's a change order that would come down, but Guardian, when they make a quote, they, for the most part, stick to it. We didn't have any variance on our.
Then what's the question? You got 20,000 in there, you got 8,000 here.
Well, because
there's somewhere
10,000
for both.
10,000 of that 20 is spoken for. It's paid
I
out.
got you.
Well, okay, you still got.
But at the same time, though, he only gets paid whenever he does budget work.
And we usually move 10,000 into the revenue, we've got 10,000 on the revenue, we've got 10,000 expenses, they kind of counterbalance.
And then you still got 2,000 flavors. So
Who's that 10,000?
$8 out of there. Was there any question?
whoever bailiffs.
Whoever bailiffs it, what are we
It goes
worried
back
about?
into the
There's no
budget.
question. I move that we take $8,257 out of the courthouse security.
I'll say,
Easy. That button goes.
Cheap on security guard.
don't talk back, don't call and see.
You never know. They can't see it.
We got a motion, Commissioner Pruitt, for second by Commissioner Wiley to install security locks and cameras
Monitoring.
within the Justice of the Peace Precinct 1 office and to be paid for out of courthouse security funds in the amount of $8,257 to $60. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Carried. Yes. Okay. How come all this money comes down here and leaves my signature?
You have been-
Gotta have somebody blame.
You've been gifted permission by the courts. I'll get you, as soon as it's signed, I'll get you a copy.
What you get to make the big numbers.
Yeah.
The next debate, the bar.
What?
Oh,
Supposed to run.
Sir?
Be sure that 8.5% sales tax is moved off there.
Yes, it wasn't even added. Okay.
Okay, is this any other item you need to discuss before we leave?
No, sir, the, Judge Mailer who had really been the proponent of it, once he heard the cost involved, decided that he no longer wanted to chase that rabbit, and Judge Ross also agreed on the video registration. So, you can negate that.
Very well. Glad.
Glad to.
Okay, I guess that brings us down to burn restrictions.
I had a request of the only, one of the neighbors up there, his house burns, so they dug a pit and pushed it off in there, and they need
To finish it.
finish it off, so they can get a home in there.
And there's been a lot of people burning when it's, I've seen them burn where the snow on the ground.
They, my understanding, I hadn't been by there, that he does have a pit, got it all pushed off in there. He's got other outbuildings out there, you know, he don't want to burn them down.
I put it off on you.
Yeah, he called, but I just make a request on his behalf to try to burn
Well, I think
that so.
I think that putting the burn ban on did exactly what we had intended for it to do, which was cause it to precipitate. So I don't have any problem with taking it off for a short period of time.
I feel like he's ready just to get the word and burn like the day or tomorrow.
I'll say your
Okay.
Let's just do it that 2 week time and see what it looks like.
Sure.
Everybody,
I feel that forced your last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're supposed to get some more tonight tomorrow.
Okay, that motion, Roger, the motion, second approved.
we'll let it work back in 2 weeks. I'll let that motion.
Well,
You're gonna do it.
we'll lift the current burn ban, and then if you want to reestablish one, we have another.
That's what that works.
Lift burn restrictions, all in favor? I'm not going to.
When we do, you don't. When we don't, you do. I mean, whatever.
Okay, that's 4 to 0 for one for me, not voting.
I'm by myself once today anyway.
But, get on the right track.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
We'll get on the right side here. All of us. I'll say.
All in favor? I'll vote on that, so.
You voted on that?
But,
Find somebody to hear from.
We'll vote on leaving.